Very heartbreaking story. Loudly crying face. The painful secret of Lee Chae-min. Loudly crying face. The heartbreaking truth behind his smile. In the sprawling neon-lit landscape of the South Korean entertainment industry, thousands of young dreamers stand in line, waiting for a single moment of recognition. Amidst this sea of hopeful faces, one figure has recently risen, towering above the rest not just because of his impressive height, but because of a quiet, undeniable intensity. He is Lee Chae-min. To the casual viewer, he is the handsome student from Crash Course in Romance or the charming host of Music Bank. He appears to be a young man for whom success came easily, a natural star born with the perfect visuals. But if you look past the polished smile and the broadcast lights, you will find a narrative that is far more grounded, far more human, and deeply layered with the silent struggles of youth. This is the story of Lee Chae-min, a man who is learning to carry the weight of his own dreams. To understand the pressure Lee Chae-min carries, one must look at where he started. He is not a veteran who has been in the industry for decades. He is a part of a new generation thrust into a hyper-competitive digital age. Before the fame, Lee Chae-min was a student at the prestigious Korea National University of Arts. While this is a badge of honor, it is also a crucible of immense pressure. According to general industry standards and the experiences of peers in similar institutions, this environment is not just about learning. It is a daily battle for survival. Imagine being surrounded by the most talented young actors in the country, constantly comparing yourself to others, wondering if your talent matches your ambition. For Lee Chae-min, the journey began in these quiet corridors of self-doubt. It is easy to assume that his height and appearance gave him an easy pass, but in the acting world, visuals are merely an entry ticket. The real test is whether you have the soul to back it up. The early phase of his career was defined by the terrifying silence of the unknown. Like many rookies, Lee Chae-min had to face the grueling reality of auditions. It is a process filled with rejection, where a young actor walks into a room, pours out their heart, and is often met with a cold, "We will contact you." While specific details of his early rejections remain private, it is a universal truth for every actor that for every yes, there are a dozen painful no's. During this time, according to the natural trajectory of a rookie actor, Lee Chae-min likely faced the crushing fear that he might never make it out of the shadows. The uncertainty of the future is a heavy burden for a young man in his early 20s, holding on to a dream that feels fragile enough to break at any moment. His debut in the drama High Class in 2021 was the first crack of light, but it was his role in Love All Play that tested his physical and mental limits. In this series, he played a badminton player. This was not just about memorizing lines. It was about transforming his body. The physical training required for such a role is exhausting. One can imagine Lee Chae-min spending hours on the court, his muscles screaming in protest, sweat stinging his eyes, pushing himself to move like a professional athlete. Behind the scenes, the life of a rookie actor is often one of sleep deprivation and relentless study. He had to prove that he was not just a tall, handsome face, but an actor capable of conveying the nuance of a competitive athlete. The fear of being labeled as stiff or awkward is a constant companion for new actors, and Lee Chae-min had to fight these internal demons with every scene he filmed. Then came the turning point that would change his life. Crash Course in Romance. Playing the role of Lee Sun-jae, a student crumbling under academic pressure, Lee Chae-min was not just acting. He was channeling the very real anxiety of his generation. The character's struggle to meet expectations mirrored Lee Chae-min's own struggle to establish himself in the industry. Viewers connected with him not because he was perfect, but because his eyes held a deep, resonant sadness. He portrayed the suffocation of expectation with a terrifying accuracy. However, with this breakout success came a new, more insidious challenge: the pressure to maintain it. The spotlight, once a distant dream, was now a blinding reality. Perhaps the most nerve-wracking challenge for an introvert, or even a thoughtful actor, is live television. When Lee Chae-min was selected as the host for Music Bank, he stepped out of the character and into the raw exposure of being himself. Live broadcasting allows for no mistakes. Every stutter, every awkward pause is broadcast to millions. In the early days of his hosting duties, fans noticed the subtle signs of his nervousness, the tight grip on the microphone, the deep breaths before speaking. It was a humanizing sight. Here was a rising star, visibly trembling with the weight of responsibility. He was fighting his own nature, pushing through the fear of public judgment every single Friday. He had to smile when he was terrified. He had to be energetic when he was exhausted. This silent battle against anxiety is something that rarely makes the headlines, but it is where true courage is found. Even as his popularity soared, the shadows of imposter syndrome likely loomed large. This is a common phenomenon among rapid risers in the Korean entertainment industry. One can surmise that in the quiet moments, after the cameras are turned off and the makeup is wiped away, Lee Chae-min might question if he truly deserves the applause. Is he good enough? Is he just lucky? These are the whispers that keep an artist awake at night. The transition from an anonymous student to a recognized face happens so fast that the soul often struggles to catch up. The loneliness of the hotel room or the empty van after a schedule is a stark contrast to the screaming crowds. It is in these moments of solitude that the real struggle takes place, the struggle to remain grounded when the world is trying to lift you onto a pedestal. Why do people love Lee Chae-min? It is not simply because of his stature or his accolades. It is because of the gentleness he radiates. In behind-the-scenes footage, Lee Chae-min is often seen taking care of his co-stars. His chemistry with his co-host on Music Bank showed a protective, brotherly side that melted hearts. He does not demand attention. He earns it through quiet politeness. Staff members and fans often describe him as humble and soft-spoken. In an industry that can be loud and abrasive, Lee Chae-min feels like a breath of fresh air. He represents the archetype of the gentle giant, someone who possesses power but chooses to lead with kindness. His dedication to his craft, evidenced by the steady improvement in his acting range, shows a man who respects the art form more than the fame it brings. While he is still at the beginning of his journey, Lee Chae-min has already begun to carve out his legacy. His nomination for Best New Actor at the 59th Baeksang Arts Awards was a validation of his hard work. It was the industry nodding to him, acknowledging that he belongs. But awards are just metal and glass. The real achievement is his resilience. He has navigated the treacherous waters of rookie life without losing his dignity. He has faced the criticism, the fatigue, and the fear, and he has kept moving forward. Looking to the future, Lee Chae-min stands at a precipice. The expectations are now higher than ever. The world is watching to see if he is a shooting star or a lasting sun. He has expressed in interviews a desire to try diverse roles, to challenge himself with characters that are different from his own personality. This indicates a hunger for growth. He does not want to be safe. He wants to be better. He is working to become an actor who can convey the deepest human emotions with a single look. As we watch Lee Chae-min on our screens today, let us not just see the celebrity. Let us see the young man who once stood in line, heart pounding, hoping for a chance. Let us see the student who studied until his eyes blurred. Let us see the person who feels fear just like we do, but chooses to step onto the stage anyway. His story is not one of magic. It is one of endurance. It is the story of a seed pushing through the hard earth to find the sun. The applause will eventually fade, and the lights will dim. But in the quiet aftermath, Lee Chae-min remains. He is not defined by the noise, but by the silence in which he prepares for his next role. As the screen fades to black, we are left with a deep sense of respect. Not for the star, but for the human being who is bravely writing his own story, one scene, one breath, and one heartbeat at a time. We watch him not with fanaticism, but with a silent, hopeful gaze, wishing him strength on the long, beautiful road ahead.